So the UFC 300 main event has been announced. Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill, which was coming. We were supposed to have Jamahal Hill versus Yuri Prohashka, but, that went the way it went. And in fact, honestly, with the UFC 300 main events, right, a lot of people are like thinking we need some spectacular thing for every 100, and I get it. It sounds nice. It's got a nice ring to it, but y'all forget UFC 200. Cormier versus Silva. When John Jones couldn't stay out of trouble again, then they had to push Cormier versus Jones 2 back like a year in a couple months. People forget that. I don't know. That's just what I see. But I think that, although I think like this should be a co-main event because Gaethje versus Holloway would just be the best fan service that you could give to go out on for a special occasion like UFC 300. I don't know. Even though I think it would be a Justin Gaethje one-sided beating up Holloway. I don't know how Holloway's going to get that done. I don't want to count him out, but you can't blame me for counting him out on this one. Pereira versus Hill would be definitely something to watch because it is on the list of fights that need to happen. And Hill is definitely needing a shot at that title again because he shocked a lot of people against Glover Teixeira. Even when Hill came off as that really cocky kid until he got humbled by Paul Craig and then bounced back. I really think that Hill has grown into his own. Now, everyone needs that humbling fight to put it in a perspective that they could lose. And especially when you're like Jamahal Hill and you were on that rise, you can't blame a young guy for feeling unstoppable because, hey, sometimes we get that way when we're on a win streak and we feel like nothing is ever going to fall short on us, right? But boy, oh boy, I just feel like maybe it is the fans' fault for hyping up whatever the main event should have been. But for those of you who thought that Pereira versus Aspinall was a good idea, there's so much clickbait out there. It would have been so easy for Aspinall to get the legitimate heavyweight title because Aspinall is so oversized for Pereira. But now it's more realistic, and he's fighting the weight class he's the division champion of against a guy who's definitely deserving of a shot. Even though I think it should be a Prohashka rematch, but I know Prohashka's also fighting on that card, so we'll see where it goes. We don't know. But who do I think wins right now? I think Hill. I know Pereira's got some very slick weapons, but he just doesn't seem complete in the octagon despite his accomplishments, which you can't deny. But when you see him on the ground, he kind of gets a little lost, and he's not hard to take down. And Hill might have some decent wrestling, especially when he's able to get up against Glover Teixeira, who is Alex's teammate. I just feel like this is going to be a Jamahal Hill retaining that title, or getting it back. Sorry, not retaining, getting it back, reclaiming it. But yeah, I mean. Let's see this. Let's get it done. I'm glad they finally have the main event. It was a bit of a build-up, bit of a milk. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but you could guarantee that Dana White makes up his mind ahead of time, in my honest opinion. I can't know his thoughts, and then he just releases it based on timing. And it was a whole lot of milking for this announcement. But other than that, yeah, that's what I think of this fight. And I think Hill might actually get his title back. And unless Pereira works on his wrestling really hard. But UFC 300 it's in a couple of months. So, yeah, let's see it in April. Let's go.